everybody! Hella here! Excited Utterance and Serif. Look, it's both of us. Hi, everyone! And look, he's feeling a lot better. He hasn't eaten any tainted mushrooms. No tainted mushrooms for him. You okay, love? Yes, I'm fine. I just don't want to be told what to do. Look, it's mushy day. Mushy day. Yes. Hi, everybody. I'm feeling okay. I'm all drugged up on the over-the-counter stuff. Yes. Just the stuff that you need to get through a stream when you have COVID or something. I don't know if I've got COVID. I've got COVID or flu or something. I don't know. I've been coughing my guts up. That's all I know. Oh, and I haven't eaten any tainted mushrooms either. I don't think. I think I would know about that. Anyway, guys, so basically where we're at is we have missed 2 days of testimony. So we need to catch up. Stuff has happened. Lots of stuff has happened. And it turns out that this lawyer that Erin Patterson has is like legal royalty. Like he's kind of like Australian Jose Baez, right? She's picked really well. Get it? Picked really well. Yep. Told you she had some money. So Colin Mandy, SC, or he may even be KC, like King's Counsel. I have to check that one. But yeah, I've been looking on the legal forums, and apparently she went with the best. And I think that he probably didn't not advise her to get on the stand. It seems like a pretty good move for her to get on the stand because her testimony is coming off pretty well, it seems, and she has been on cross for the last day. And I reckon that the cross isn't going too well for the Crown. But let's all make our own decision on that. Let's say hi to everybody. Snibbles, how are you? Taint and Mushy and Taint and Mushy. Yeah, there's Taint and Mushies today. Okay. We're going to start on time, but Mavka didn't remind us today, so we forgot. Yeah, that's right. It's all Mavka's fault. Mickey is not greater than Erin. No, nothing's greater than Erin. The mushroom trial is like keeping me happy at the moment. In fact, I'll bring Dali in to confirm. Hey. Hello. Everything's pissing me off right now except the mushroom trial.
Fair.
Isn't it? Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And I actually the Mickey Steins thing is kind of interesting, I suppose. But I hate the Karen Reid trial. I hate pretty much everything else that's happening on YouTube right now. Lots of things are pissing me off, but and no offense to Sean, I love Sean's coverage. Sean's great. And Andrea too. Just the Karen Reid trial just pisses me off. Because there's so much like team cheerleading and shit and annoys me. But yeah, the mushroom trial is so interesting. It's just so interesting. It annoys me that we can't see the lawyering because from what I was just saying a minute ago, this lawyer for Erin sounds amazing. Like he's really turned the tables for Erin. I mean, she'd probably still be found guilty anyway, but I just wish we could see it. Hella isn't hitting the racket slopes. No, unfortunately not. Hey, Mark Harding. She knows how to pick him. Yes, she does. You picked up on it. Mickey Steins is either going to a mental hospital or jail for a long time. Yeah, I don't really understand how a motion to dismiss can work out for someone who was caught on CCTV shooting someone multiple times. But you never know. Hey, Diane, how are you, love? Look, I mean, Karen Reid is like a fun trial, I guess. It's just all the nastiness that goes on with the people following it, I suppose. But just, either you must agree she's not guilty, or you must agree she's guilty, or you're a narcissist. It would be fantastic if the trial was live streamed. Hey, Ma, how are you, love? Why would someone go away for? Oh, that was you right there. Why would someone go away for a long time for just disposing of a government tool? What government tool? Oh,
judge.
right. Oh, yeah, you mean the judge? Yeah, I don't like judges either. Seraph is making an appearance, as he does. Yeah. Okay, let's get into it. So. Erin speaks. Tainted mushrooms, tainted mushrooms, Now, have you seen my super chat challenge for today? Because it's pretty fun. So if we get up to 5 super chats, I'm going to make Dolly wear a phallic mushroom. And he has agreed to this, so don't...
Not really, but...
Well, I told him about it after I put it up, but he knows I need to pay the bills. So I haven't been streaming much lately. Where or where? Didn't I write it correctly? Oh, I spelled it wrong. Oopsie. Safa. Yeah, no, he has to wear it, like wear a phallic mushroom. Yeah. Like dressing, yes. He has to dress up in a phallic mushroom. I will provide the phallic mushroom. It will just appear on Dali. It will suit him. Don't worry. Okay, so there are lots of phallic mushrooms. Remember, the story starts here, down there. In Leongatha at lunchtime on July 29, 2023. And there are the guests. There's Erin Patterson, the chef, Simon Patterson, the escapee, the estranged husband, and we have Gail Patterson, Don Patterson, the parents, so the parents-in-law of Erin Patterson, rest in peace. And we have Heather Wilkinson, which is the sister of Gail Patterson, and her husband, Ian Wilkinson, who happens to be the pastor.
Mm.
And he is the survivor. He survived. Serif. Yeah, he survived. So he managed to get a liver transplant that worked. We found out yesterday from our contact in the courtroom that Don Patterson also had a liver transplant, but that one didn't work out so well. That's how deadly these things are, guys. They decimate your liver very quickly. Very quickly. Hella's always right. Now, remember, it's true, isn't it, Dolly?
Wouldn't go that far.
Tend to be, though. Yeah. Now, remember last time there was some testimony about how she has had bulimia earlier in life, or had done, right?
Well, now, first of all, she was late to court, right?
Late to court.
Yeah, apparently there was too much traffic.
Too much traffic? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yes.
Really? Too much traffic?
Yeah. It's a mushroom joke.
Dear me.
God, that was bad.
Oh, please, people, please bring the super chats on. We need to put a phallic mushroom on his head. How much of a transplanted liver does one need? Is it just a little piece? No, you need a whole liver.
Do you? Or can you do like half a liver? Can't you split them?
I don't think so.
Split the baby?
No. Need the whole bugger. Right. So remember how I put forward this theory that is, we don't need immunity. We don't need the Princess Bride immunity. She probably vomited up her portion of the beef Wellington. Guess what came out in testimony?
Good evening. Accused killer cook Erin Patterson has revealed how she deliberately made herself sick in the hours after the lethal mushroom lunch. The mother of two broke down in the witness box, explaining how she lied about her medical issues and panicked when police started to ask questions.
Mushroom cook Erin Patterson insists she's not a killer, but does admit she's a liar. Today, telling the jury she lied to her in-laws about having cancer because she wanted their support, that she dumped the dehydrator she'd used to dry out wild mushrooms because she was scared, and misled authorities into thinking she hadn't foraged for mushrooms when she had. Ms. Patterson talked to the witness stand for the third day today. Peak interest from the public, with queues outside the courthouse from 5 a.m. Ms. Patterson is accused of murdering her in-laws Don and Gail Patterson and Gail's sister Heather Wilkinson after serving them beef Wellingtons she now accepts contained death cap mushrooms. Today, the court heard that when her estranged husband Simon asked her if she'd used her dehydrator to poison his parents, she felt scared, responsible and worried, tearfully telling the jury, "It got me thinking about all the times that I'd used the dehydrator and how I'd dried foraged mushrooms in it weeks earlier. And I was starting to think, what if they'd gone in the container with the Chinese mushrooms?" Ms. Patterson also admitted she lied about having cancer to cover up an upcoming gastric bypass surgery. "I'm not proud of this, but I led them to believe I might be needing some treatment in the next few weeks or months. I do remember I referred to upcoming treatment because primarily in my mind, I might need help getting the kids to and from the bus or activities, and I might need to explain why I was going up to hospital for a day or two. I was really embarrassed. I was ashamed of the fact I didn't have control over my body or what I ate, but I shouldn't have lied to them." She also claimed that after the beef Wellington lunch, she ate a large portion of orange cake made by her mother-in-law, but then felt overfull and went to the toilet to vomit it up. The jury's previously heard the 4 lunch guests were all hospitalised with multiple organ failure, while Ms. Patterson was discharged from hospital after being declared clinically well. When asked how she made the beef Wellingtons, she said she tweaked a Recipe Tin Eats meal and made a duxelle from mushrooms bought from Woolworths. But after
Duxelle.
realising the mixture tasted bland, she added dried mushrooms from a container in her pantry. At the time, she believed the mushrooms came from a packet she'd bought from an Asian grocer, but now thinks there's a possibility there were
from Wuhan.
foraged mushrooms in the container as well. Ms. Patterson also offered explanations for other things she did after the lunch. When asked why she did a factory reset on one of her phones, she said she panicked and didn't want detectives to see photos of mushrooms and her dehydrator on it. And as for a 9-second trip she made to the toilet at a service station, she said she'd fallen ill, and after going to the toilet on the side of the road, was discarding rubbish from that trip in the service station bathroom. Ms. Patterson was...
Remember how there was the footage, the CCTV footage of her going to the toilet at the service station, or you guys call it a gas station, right? We call it a servo, right? So they actually brought in to evidence footage of her going to the service station bathroom and said, "Oh, she couldn't have diarrhea. She was only there for 9 seconds." Right? Her testimony is actually state, "I had to go and shit myself on the side of the road, clean it up with tissues and put it in a doggy poo bag. And that's why I was in the toilet for 9 seconds. I was just getting rid of that." So, literally, there you go. How? She just stuck it to him.
She has an
Right?
answer for everything.
Wow. Right?
If she's
Like,
telling the truth.
yeah, maybe, okay. right? Yeah, she's telling the truth. But still, I mean, if you want to bring in someone's toilet habits, then fine, let's talk about toilet habits. All right.
Okay,
Sure.
well, actually, I'm constipated. Oh, you mean her.
Dear. And thank you, Ma, for the super chat, Dolly. Where the mushroom? Where the mushroom? Hey, Chinny, how are you, mate? And hey, CH. Hello. Why can't Austrian people use complete words? Everything needs to be shortened and end in O. Yeah, well, I don't know.
Austrian or Australian?
Yeah, see, he can't say our full name.
No,
I don't
Austrians
know.
only do awful things. They don't say awful names.
That's true. I went to a service station once. I got serviced behind the toast.
Clip that.
Of course you did. Servo, mate. Yep. See, classic overthinker knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. Service stations are different in my lexicon. I bet they are. Yeah. Oh, how far is with the $6.99 Canadian. So my daughter can't say Canada. She says Canadian. And she's 13. She should be able to say Canada by now. I get to go home tonight. We both survived. Thank you for the super chat.
I'm glad.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, she's got money. She's got money. Well, she's hired a really good lawyer. Duxelles for the win. Yeah, so apparently she thought the Duxelles was not tasty enough. It was too bland. So she got out her dried mushrooms from the cupboard. But as we discussed in the last stream, she had previously, like months earlier, mixed up some mushrooms she'd gotten from the Asian grocer, dried ones, and some that she had foraged and dehydrated. So she just got a bunch of dehydrated mushrooms, dried mushrooms, and chucked them all into a container, Tupperware container. You guys got Tupperware over there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Actually.
Tupperware container. Yeah.
You have Tupperware parties?
I believe that there's Tupperware. I think it's gone broke now. Tupperware. Don't know if it
There's
exists
like
anymore.
knockoffs now.
Yeah. But yeah, she refers to it as a Tupperware container.
Oh.
Right. Yeah. So she said that she put them all into the same container. That was months ago, right? And she didn't even think about that. They're just in the same container. But she went to try and get some different mushrooms because it didn't taste like it tasted too bland. And now she realizes, oh, there were forage mushrooms in there, and there might have been death caps in there. Like she didn't realize, but obviously that's the case. Ooh, oopsie whoopsie.
Oopsie poopsie.
Anna Lizette. Now, Anna Lizette knows a bit about this. You've been talking in my comments. You know a bit about foraging, right? And I completely agree with you, Anna Lizette. She's really, really reckless and careless to be going out and foraging and picking these things, giving them to her children, all this kind of stuff, and not being very aware of what it is that she's picking and eating. This is my personal
negligent.
This is it's negligent. Yeah. And I think she's been overcharged personally. I don't think that this is murder. I think it's perhaps, if there is in the state of Victoria, like reckless homicide.
Then again, it would get because she would have known she would know death caps exist and they're dangerous. So I could see an argument for that kind of charge.
But you'll see from the way she's questioned by the Crown that, well, I mean, obviously they're going for murder, but as far as they're concerned, she is very much planning.
Babu is really creeping me out, just lurking behind me.
Oh, is he? Is he planning your demise?
I think so.
Yeah, okay. All right. So there's a lot being made of all the lies she told, of course, because like obviously they kind of the crown is trying to discredit her. I always have a bit of a problem with this leap between is someone a liar and is someone a murderer, right? And I have a problem just putting someone into one basket because they're in this basket, right? Like if I were a juror and I just was like, okay, they're lying about other stuff, that doesn't mean that they're going to be a murderer. If you're lying about the actual murder, then cool, right? But if you're lying about other stuff, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are a murderer, right? It means that you're a bit kooky and not very trustworthy, but not necessarily a murderer. So anyway, direct on Wednesday. So Colin Mandy, Casey's he's a King's Counsel.
Ooh.
Ooh. Do you want to be him?
Hi, Governor. Had you been to an appointment?
No.
Had you had a needle biopsy taken of the lump?
No.
Were you returning for a mushroom resonance image the next week?
No.
Were those lies?
Yes.
And why did you tell those lies?
So some weeks prior, I had been having an issue with my elbow with pain. And I thought there was a lump there. And I told Gail and Donna about that when I saw them or spoke to them. And they'd shown quite a lot of care about that, which felt really nice.
Aw.
The issue started to resolve, and I felt a bit embarrassed that I'd made such a big deal about it, and I didn't want their care of me to stop. So I just kept it going. I shouldn't have done it. I'd come to the conclusion that I wanted to do something for once and for all about my weight and my poor eating habits. So I was planning to have gastric bypass surgery. And so I remember thinking I didn't want to tell anybody what I was going to have done. I was really embarrassed about it. So I thought perhaps letting them believe I had some serious issues that needed treatment might mean they'd be able to help me with the logistics around the kids. And I wouldn't have to tell them the real reason. Right. So making them think you had cancer to have them help you with the kids.
I guess it would explain the weight loss.
And
I mean, just being
not the best
honest
look.
doesn't seem like a bad way to go.
It doesn't. I mean, like,
I mean, she's not the most logical woman.
she's not the most logical person, you can tell. But yeah, this is not a good look. But at
No.
least she's saying it. Like, it's better her saying it than it coming from the other side. And then we're talking about cooking the meal. So I decided to cook beef Wellington as I recalled my mum making the dish for special occasions. Aww. I got the recipe from a book by Nagi Meiheshi called Recipe Tin Eats and did 2 big shops at Woolworths on the 23rd of July, buying mushrooms, fillet steak, puff and filo pastry, and on July 28th, the day before the lunch, buying mushrooms again and more filo pastry. I have no idea why. I thought I needed more filo. I didn't shop with a list, so sometimes I would buy things I already had. I only bought some the day before, but it looks like I'd forgotten I did that. But I made things with pastry all the time, so it wouldn't have mattered. In total, I bought 10 steaks.
I'm sorry, just a log of meat. I don't know why, that just makes me giggle. Want to see my log of meat?
I want to see my log. Hey, David. Is David here? Yeah. If you lie about cancer, you are a murderer. You have killed someone before, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
I don't know what that's kind of weird. I've never heard of like beef Wellington steaks.
Well, because she couldn't get a big, like, eye fillet, like a full eye fillet.
Yeah.
So she bought the individual steaks
Yeah,
that
I
fillet.
don't know. It just seems like way more work, but okay.
She clearly is happy in the kitchen making. She just was there all day, fillowing
Yeah.
them up and mushrooming them up, and she just
Well,
didn't have a care in the world. That's what she
I'm
did.
sure Kurt gave her some
Yeah.
advice.
Maybe. In total, I bought 10 steaks. I wasn't able to find a tenderloin log of meat called for in the recipe to make one Wellington, so I used individual steaks to make smaller serves wrapped in pastry like pasties.
I've got
Okay.
pasties on.
Oh, yeah. On the Friday before the lunch, I salted the steaks, and on Saturday, woke up to cook the mushrooms into duxelles, a sauce with fried garlic, shallots, and chopped mushrooms from Woolworths. As I was cooking it down, I tasted it a few times, and it seemed a little too bland for me. So I decided to put in the dried mushrooms that I bought from the grocer that I still had in the pantry. And then Defense says,
Aye, Governor. At that time, to your knowledge, what was in that Tupperware container?
at that time, I believed it was just the mushrooms that I bought in Melbourne.
And now, what do you think might have been in that Tupperware container? Kangaroo?
Now I think there was a possibility that there were foraged ones in there as well. Oh no. Dum dum. Okay, so remember the message that she said sent to her husband the day before about, and because Simon said that he didn't want to go to the lunch, he felt uncomfortable. She said, "That's really disappointing. I've spent many hours this week preparing lunch for tomorrow, which has been exhausting in light of the issues I'm facing, and spent a small fortune on beef fillet to make beef Wellingtons because I wanted it to be a special meal. And I may not be able to host a lunch like this again for some time." Well, no. It's important to me that you're all there tomorrow and I have the conversations I need to have. I hope you change your mind. Your parents and Heather and Ian are coming at 12:30. I hope to see you there.
Oh, sorry. Why did you send Simone that message?
Simone, I just remember feeling, well, I was hurt. He didn't want to come. But I was also feeling anxious and stressed about this upcoming procedure that I was going to have. I just wanted to know that it would be sorted and I wouldn't have to worry about whether I would have to be with the kids or not. So I just really wanted him to come so I could talk to him about that.
When you say I've spent many hours preparing lunch for tomorrow, was that true? It's not true.
I didn't do any prep other than shopping and researching the recipe. So I guess the answer to your question is no, it wasn't true. Oh God,
it's not true.
Why is she talking? Why is she saying she's lying a bit? That's not. That's stupid. I'd fried 6 steaks, wrapped them in mushroom and pastry, and put them in the oven. My children had decided to go to a movie with a friend. I wanted to talk to the family about an upcoming medical procedure, which in reality was a pre-assessment for the gastric bypass booked for September, but which I wanted the family to think was more serious. Oh, dear me. Okay, now we get into the pantry stuff.
How did you feel about Heather and Gail going to look in the panties?
Pantry.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Imagine my embarrassment.
Mixed. I was proud of the pantry, but it was probably a little bit messy. I think I'd hidden my garbage bag around there or something. It was fine for them to go in. So after they finished that, they came back and they stood on the other side of the kitchen bench to where I was plating up the food. So I had the Wellingtons on and an oven tray resting on the bench next to the stove. And I had a mashed potato in a pot. And then I put out the plates and started serving the mash, then the Wellingtons, and then finally the beans. Ooh, the plating up.
You were talking about plating up. How many plates did you plate up? I'm using
I
the
plated
term plate up quite a bit, aren't I?
I plated up 5.
You said you cooked 6 Wellingtons.
Yes.
What happened to the other one?
So I think I just put the oven tray straight in the fridge to worry about later. So I said, grab a plate, guys. I'm just going to finish off the gravy. I turned around. I think I used one of those ready-made gravy sachets. Really? After all that work? I didn't want to risk a gravy problem. That
Like
was
at the gas
later.
station?
Yeah. So I heated that up in the maybe I used 2 sachets. I heated that up in the saucepan and went into the pantry to get the serving pitcher. But the gravy in the pitcher, put the gravy in the pitcher, grabbed the last plate off the bench, and went and sat at the table.
And how did the other plates get to the table? Did you see? Patrick.
Well, I didn't see it happen. I assumed everyone grabbed a plate. Ian said that Gail and Heather took 2 plates each, and I accept that's probably what happened. Oh, this is important.
And do you remember which plate you had?
No.
Continue.
It was right at the end of the meal. Oh, this is a lunch conversation. Right at the end of the meal, and I mentioned that I'd had an issue a year or 2 earlier where I thought I'd had ovarian cancer and had various scans related to that. And then, I'm not proud of this, but I led them to believe that I might be needing some treatment in regard to that in the next few weeks or months. Who knows?
And do you remember what you said about that in any more detail?
Not specifically. I do remember I referred to an upcoming treatment because primarily in my mind, I was thinking I might need help with getting the kids to and from the bus or activities. And I thought I might need to explain why I was going up to hospital for a day or 2. So that was really the focus of what I was talking about.
Did you mislead them?
I did.
How did that conversation conclude?
They all showed a lot of compassion about that. And then we saw Simon's car driving into the driveway, coming back with the kids. And so Ian said, "Why don't we pray for Erin?" And that's what we did.
Did you lie to them?
I did lie to them.
And why didn't you tell them the truth about what you were intending?
I was really embarrassed. I was ashamed of the fact I didn't have control of my body or what I ate. I was ashamed of that and embarrassed. I didn't want to tell anybody, but I shouldn't have lied to them. The Wilkinsons and Don Patterson ate all of their beef Wellington, and Don also ate the uneaten half of his wife Gail's. I ate a quarter, a third, somewhere around there of mine. I ate some of mine. And I ate a piece of cake and then another piece of cake and then another.
How many pieces of cake? Oh, so she wanted to have her cake and eat it too.
Yeah, that was after people left,
Yeah.
right?
How many pieces of cake did you have?
All of it.
How much had been left?
Probably a good 2/3 of it was left.
And what happened after you ate the cake?
I felt sick. I felt overfull, so I went to the toilet and brought it back up. That night, I suffered diarrhea, and in the morning, got a call from Simon to say my lunch guests were suffering diarrhea and were in hospital. On the following morning, Monday, I dropped my children for the school bus at 7:20 and then attended the local hospital hoping for some intravenous fluids. I asked Simon to accompany me. I wanted company when I went to the hospital. I didn't want to go there by myself. He said that he was tired and still in bed and I should drive myself. At the hospital, the doctor said, "There's a concern, or we're concerned. You've been exposed to death cap mushrooms."
And what did you think when you heard that?
Shocked but confused as well. I didn't see how death cap mushrooms could be in the meal. The information that I had was that I had diarrhea. Don and Gail had been a bit unwell, but that's all I knew. Remember feeling very puzzled. And then on returning home, the doctor said they wanted to send me to Monash Medical Centre in Melbourne, but I needed to make arrangements for my pets and children. I returned to my house in Leongatha where I fed my pets, organised the kids' gear, lay down and went to the toilet a couple times. I said I'd return in 20 or 30 minutes, but I agreed. I returned to the hospital approximately 90 minutes later. And then the police were there. I was put on a drip, and someone put me on the phone to the police who wanted to get the leftovers of the meal to work out why the lunch guests were so ill. I told doctors I'd fed my children leftovers of the Wellingtons after scraping off the mushrooms. Doctors insisted the children come in for testing, even though I said they were feeling fine. It wasn't that I didn't want them to be treated, but more the drastic step of putting them in hospital. I wanted to understand that if that was really necessary because of their anxieties about being in hospital. Simon said to me, "Is this how you poisoned my parents? Using that dehydrator?"
And what was your response?
Of course not.
Can you explain to us what crossed your mind and what you were thinking then?
So it got me thinking about all the times that I'd used the dehydrator. That's right, and how I dried forage mushrooms in weeks earlier. And I was starting to think, what if they'd gone in the container with the Chinese mushrooms? Maybe that had happened. I was thinking maybe that's how they thought.
How did that make you feel?
Scared, responsible, really worried because child protection were involved, and Simon seemed to be of the mind that maybe this was intentional. And I just got really scared. My state of mind when I got home, I was frantic because I'd made the meal and I served it, and people had got sick. I took the dehydrator to the local
Wait, so
tip.
Simon was saying that maybe this was
not intentional.
No, intentional. I took the dehydrator to the local tip, just a tip. Child protection were coming to my house that afternoon, and I was scared of the conversation that might flow after the meal, like my bum. The dehydrator, and I was scared that they would blame me for making everyone sick, and I was scared they'd remove my children. And now we're going to switch to the switching of the phones. I decided to stop using my original phone and SIM and had put a new SIM into a device known as Phone B. Did she actually say that?
If your cell phone technology is as confusing as your internet modems and routers, then
I was becoming concerned about Simon's behavior and his allegations, and I was concerned for my security, so I wanted him to not be able to contact me anymore. My son did the first reset. Oh, you're going to blame your son? When using the phone after his device had been damaged, I did the subsequent 3 resets, including once after police had seized the phone. I put all my apps on it, including my Google account, which included my Google photos, and I knew that there were photos in there of mushrooms in the dehydrator. And I just panicked that I didn't want them to see them. Are you serious, lady?
when you say them, who do you mean?
The detectives.
Mhm. Keep going.
At some point after the search of my house and the interview and the detectives had brought me home, I remember thinking, I wonder if I can log into my Google account and see where all my devices are. So I did that, and it was really stupid, but I thought, I wonder if they've been silly enough to leave it connected to the internet. And so I hit factory reset to see what happened, and it did. Do you realize what she did? They took her phone, they left it on, the cops, right?
Wait,
And she thought, oh, let me see if the cops have been silly enough to leave it connected to the internet. She goes on to find my iPhone. She sees that it's connected, and she does a factory reset remotely
oh, so the
at
cops
the police
did.
station. Yes.
Oh, the cops did. Oh, I thought it wasn't successful. She just tried
No,
it.
it was.
Oh.
And she fucking testifies that the cops had been silly enough to leave it on.
And those idiot cops left my phone on. It's their fault, not me.
Right?
Jesus. Doesn't Australia know what a Faraday box is?
Well, based.
I mean, I'm kind of on her side with that. If they were stupid enough to leave it unlocked or leave it connected.
Still.
Was that really not like the first time you've encountered that situation, Mr. Popo? Like you've never had that happen before?
They still got the photos.
Oh, really?
Right?
They did?
Oh, yeah. Like, they're on the cloud, for fuck's sake. Like,
Hmm.
it's not that hard to get the photos down. Like, hey, Excel spreadsheet, how are you? The real winner in this case is Mandy's law firm. The more it drags on, the more he rakes in. Yeah, there's that. Plus, his name is getting out all over the place. Like, he's
Yeah.
doing a fucking for real job. Like, he's doing a great job. And, like, even if she's found guilty, which she probably will be, or if she gets a hung jury, good job for him too. But his name is well known now, and I think he'll probably get a lot of work out of this. Not that he wasn't doing well before. Did you hear Erin's jail nickname is Beef? Oh, stop it! I need to not bring your chats up, Mavka. Hella, do you mind having a chat about the probabilities AI come up I shared earlier? And please, let me see.
Yeah, I'm starring them right now so you can see them.
Oh, okay. Estimated probability she ate the same food but didn't get sick. 0.65, 1 in 150. But okay. Estimated probability only her mushroom pack from the Chinese store was death cap. No others got sick. Estimated probability it was all a coincidence. Dehydrated dump, lies, death cap traces. Yeah. AI also says Brian Koberger's guilty. And I don't believe that because it takes into account that there is the white Elantra is his, and there's no evidence that it really is his. I don't know if you're following that one Excel spreadsheet. And also the cell data is likely to prove that his car was going in the other direction. So that all said, let's look at the first one. Estimated probability she ate some food but didn't get sick. Does that take into account that she probably vomited it up? If she did vomit it up, right? So can we put that data back in with the possibility, well, saying that she vomited it? All right, so there's that. Estimated probability only her mushroom pack from the Chinese store was death cap. I don't think there's any question that it came from the Chinese store now. I think she's admitted now that she had forage mushrooms that were in the same Tupperware container as ones that came from a Chinese grocer. So, no, I don't think that that's even a possibility anymore. That one's thrown out. Estimated possibility, it was all coincidence, dehydrated lies, death cap traces. I do believe in circumstantial cases coming together, but I also believe in the possibility or the reality that prosecutors can pick pieces of someone's life apart and weave a storyline together. And I think she lies, but I don't think that makes her a murderer. So right now, I think it's just as likely that it's an accident. A very reckless accident, though. I think she does have some responsibility, absolutely, for what's happened. It was really stupid of her. Really, really stupid of her. But was it done with malice? I don't see how it's done with malice. Like, there just doesn't seem to be any proof that she sat there and planned it. Like, we're about to get to the cross, and when Nanette Rogers starts to talk to her about her planning, she puts forth arguments that, so you were weighing out what a lethal dose was, weren't you? It's like, what? Really? Like, can you actually imagine that? Can you put yourself in this woman's shoes and really imagine her sitting there with these death cap mushrooms and planning out, like weighing out a lethal dose of these things so she can put it into each of the beef Wellingtons and serve it up to each of these people and making sure that they each get a lethal dose? It doesn't fly with me. It doesn't seem like the person that's testifying to me. So, I mean, you might think differently, but yes, and I think she's doing great testifying. Every circumstance is on its own totally normal thing. Foraging mushrooms, weighing ingredients when cooking. The only thing that they can really prove is that she cooked beef Wellington, which she admits, yeah.
Although the totality of circumstances is a little odd, but I don't know.
But prosecutors are great at that. They're great at just pulling as much stuff as they can, especially out of data, right? Like, because they have data on us now, right? They can go and get all our Google searches. They can go and get everywhere we've been, and they can go, oh, look, she went to Outram and she was there for half an hour. Well, she went to Outram. That's a whole, like, in your terms, county, right? Like, it's a whole area. Doesn't mean she went to that tree.
Okay, yeah.
Right? So they can go and get that and say, oh, well, she went to that area. So therefore, she went to where the death cap mushrooms are, where she saw that Funky Tom had said that that's where the death cap mushrooms are. Well, guilty, right? Who says that she went to that spot to go and find death cap mushrooms because Funky Tom put that photo on iNaturalist, right? We don't even know for sure that she looked at that on iNaturalist, right? And we certainly don't know she went to that exact spot. We don't know that, but the prosecution has painted it that way because each of those things that they paint that way add up to the totality of evidence, the totality. right? She does seem conniving. Yeah. I don't hate Karen Reid. I just don't like the trial very much. I find the trial to be a bit painful to watch. Oh, and it's the second one now.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, just the toxicity around the conversations as well. Anyway, so what we're gonna do is there's like so much testimony from the second day. We're going to flick through. Now, this is Nanette Rogers. This is the lady who looks like she's from the Golden Girls. She's the lead prosecutor. She was really excited to get up and have a go at Erin, as you can imagine she would be. Now, she went straight in and she asked a few really sort of pointed questions, and we're only just going to go on to those. We're not going to get too much into. She spent a lot of time talking about the cancer lie. Like she talked about how she was misleading to the in-laws and the husband about her being sick, and also about like the arguments that had happened over the years and all that kind of stuff. So I will show you a video after we do a little bit of this that does more of an overview of the whole day. But I just wanted to show you some of the sort of more pointed questions. So do you want to be Rogers?
sure. Was that the woman?
Yes.
You knew they were death cab for cutie mushrooms that you dehydrated.
No, I didn't know.
You were very keen to dispose any evidence that would connect you with the possession of death cap mushrooms. That's why you rushed out after your release from Monash to dispose of it.
No.
You lied. You're a lying liar who lies because you knew if you told the Popo the truth, it would implicate you in the deliberate poisoning of your 4 lunch guests.
No, it's not true. She should have said
Not
yes to that because she did actually lie about all that stuff.
Wow.
Isn't that true? So Rogers has drawn Patterson's attention to a series of images captured by CCTV cameras of a woman getting out of a red car and disposing of a large item in the e-waste bin at a tip. Patterson agrees that the footage is of her dumping the dehydrator. Rogers shows Patterson a photograph of a bin containing digital waste, including computer screens and a black dehydrator. Oh dear.
Is this your black sunbeam food dehydrator? Pictured here, Miss Patterson.
Unless somebody else put a dehydrator as well as me, then I presume this is the one I put in.
Senior Crown Prosecutor.
This is just a little bit of the thing. Yeah.
Should I read it?
You can read that, yeah.
Senior Crown Prosecutor Nanette Rogers has taken the accused mushy killer to a screenshot of a mushy from a social media account that read, "I've been hiding powdered mushrooms and everything. Mixed it into a chocolate brownie yesterday. The kids had no idea."
Miss, oh no, here you go. This. You.
Miss Patterson, did you send this message to your friend group chat on Facebook?
Yes.
I suggest that you were testing whether you could hide mushies in food without anyone noticing.
No, I don't agree.
I suggest that you told your online friend Daniela Berkey that you had been using the dehydrator just for mushies.
I don't agree with that. I tried dehydrating apples, bananas, and other fruit. I just
Oh,
tired
my.
of taking photos of them. I don't know how many times I tried. I tried to put dried mushrooms in food for the kids. I just added them to various meals: spaghetti, lasagna, stew, brownies. I was trying to get extra vegetables into my kids' bodies. Oh, here we go. Roger shows Erin an image taken from her phone of mushrooms on a dehydrated tray placed above a scale, which shows a weight of 255.8 grams. She also shows her an image of a scale on a kitchen shelf taken by police on August 5, 2023.
How many sets of scales did you own at the time, Mrs. Patterson?
I don't know, at least one. Erin agrees the photos in the images are the same as the ones taken by police on August 5.
I suggest to you that these were death cap mushrooms that you forged on April 28th, 2023, year of our Lord.
That's not correct.
And or before May 4th, 2023, year of our Lord.
That's not correct.
I suggest these were the death cap mushies you found on April 28th, 2023, when you went to Loch Ness after seeing Christine McKenzie's post.
Patterson has not answered the question following an objection. I'm interested that this has been allowed out then. There was an objection to that from her lawyer that there were multiple propositions, so that's compound.
Oh, whoa. I knew she swung that way, the prosecutor.
Hang on. Oh, this bit. Okay. Roger suggested to Patterson that she went to Loch that day to find death cap mushrooms. Okay, so what we're talking about, okay, this is good. So Rogers takes Patterson back to the images of mushrooms she was shown earlier, which mycologist Tom May, remember that's Funky Tom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Said were consistent with death cap mushrooms during his evidence earlier in the trial. Rogers says,
You deny that there are death cap mushies?
that's correct. I don't think they are. Rogers suggested to Patterson that she saw Christine McKenzie's post on iNaturalist about death cap mushrooms growing in Loch. I disagree. Rogers suggested to Patterson that she went to Loch on April 28, 2023. I don't know if I did go to Loch that day or not. Rogers suggested to Patterson that she went to Loch that day to find death cap mushrooms. Disagree. Rogers suggested to the mushrooms in the images were the death cap mushrooms that Patterson found in Loch on April 2023. Disagree. Now, Rogers suggested that Patterson weigh the mushrooms so she could calculate the weight required for the administration of a fatal dose for one person or for 5 fatal doses for 5 people.
Yeah, that's a little far-fetched.
It does seem like it, doesn't it?
And okay, let's say she was doing that. Why the hell would she take a picture of that?
Yes.
No, she was taking a picture. I don't know why, but for whatever culinary thing she wants to do.
It does seem a bit much, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay. So let's go back. Let's go to the news story. This questioning sounds more like a deposition. Her lawyer has instructed her to use the term disagree. Oh, that's fair enough. Like, lawyers do that though, don't they? They say, if you don't remember something, say I don't recall. Don't just go, nah, like use the word. Like they give you a couple of words. So that's fair enough. If Erin's just an apothecary trying out her restore health potion and everyone else failed their constitution check, then maybe she's just misunderstood.
That's on them.
My expert testimony, Erin is a witch and she mixed her apothecary ingredients with her food. Innocent. I'm a level 46 alchemist in Skyrim.
Mavka actually asked a good question for once. Do
Yeah.
lawyers not need to ask questions on cross? Erin responds to many statements. Yeah, she kept saying, I suggest.
Yeah, okay. So that I have noticed that too, and I believe that that's fine because I've seen it as well in the couple of cases I've seen televised. They'll say, I suggest to you that blah 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 blah, and the person goes and responds. So that, like, you put a proposition to someone, the person's on cross, so it's not like, I mean, because they're allowed to lead, so that's a leading statement, I guess, not a question. You're right.
Yeah, it's a
but
little odd, but
it's a bit
I
different.
guess is the same effect.
Yeah, so you're putting a theory out there,
Yeah.
and posing it sort of like a question, but it doesn't have a question mark on it. So that's a good point. Yes, Seraph, I know. Seriously, mate.
Oh, I often take a picture of the mushies I pick. It makes for a good record of how many mushrooms grew and when they were picked.
Who said that?
Mark.
Oh. The mushrooms here, don't we? I thought we got all the mushrooms in chat.
I know.
Interestingly, actually, I don't know whether this is going to come out in this video or not, but I read it somewhere. When the Department of Health was talking to her in the days following all of this, they said to her, "Oh, have you been mushrooming?" Right? And she said no. And when she's asked on cross about that, her response was, "Well, of course I haven't been mushrooming. I've been here and doing all this." Like, and so she hadn't been mushrooming for months, right?
How long are they good for?
But they're only gone for a few days. That's why she dehydrated them.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Okay, so once you dehydrate them, they're good for a while.
Oh yeah,
they don't go bad or whatever.
Quite a while. Yeah, especially in a Tupperware case, right? But like, she's so like wound up in all the events that are happening right now, like people are dying and people are sick, that when this health department asked her, "Have you been mushrooming?" she didn't connect something that had happened months ago with right now. So she didn't consider that to be a lie, because what do you mean? Like, mushrooming? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to ask the right question. Yeah. Hey, young black economist, how are you? Good to see you. All right, let's watch this bit.
You're muted. Yoo-hoo.
Oh, no sound.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for telling me.
I did.
When?
Like 5 seconds ago. I was like, yoo-hoo.
Fine.
A huge day of testimony from Erin Patterson in the Leongatha mushroom murder trial.
Thank you.
The prosecution finally getting the opportunity to question the woman they accuse of triple murder.
It's the moment we've been waiting for. The prosecution unleashing on Erin Patterson, who today was cross-examined for the first time. Grilled about the lies she told police.
You lied about dehydrating food and mushrooms because you knew that if you told police the truth, then that would implicate you in the poisoned lunch. Agree or disagree?
I agree that I lied because I was afraid I would be held responsible.
You knew that if you told police the truth, then you would be immediately suspected by police of being involved in a poisoning event.
That's probably true, yes.
And questioned about evidence from a senior doctor at Monash Health, who testified Patterson had told her she had never foraged for mushrooms.
Do you accept that Professor Stewart asked you if you'd been mushrooming?
I accept that That's what she said.
Did you, in effect, say no
Ah.
to Professor Stewart?
To which question?
If you'd been mushrooming.
I don't remember that conversation.
Patterson also asked about several photographs found on a tablet in her home, which show mushrooms being weighed on electronic scales.
I suggest that you were weighing these death cap mushrooms so that you could calculate the weight required for the administration of a fatal dose for one person. Agree or disagree?
Disagree.
The prosecution then pushing Patterson on testimony from sole survivor Ian Wilkinson, who claims she told the lunch guests she had cancer.
Did you tell the lunch guests that you had cancer?
I did not.
Ian Wilkinson's evidence is that you went on to talk about a diagnostic test.
I think I talked about that. I'd been undergoing some testing.
Ian Wilkinson's evidence is that it showed a spot on the scan that was a tumour.
I remember him saying that in his evidence, but I don't believe I said that.
The prosecution's theory?
I suggest that you never thought you would have to account for this lie of having cancer because you thought that the lunch guests would die and your lie would never be found out.
That's not true.
Erin Patterson has pleaded not guilty to all charges.
Well, live from the lands of the Cooler Nation, Erin Pearson is the Age's crime and justice reporter. She's been in the Morwell court again today. Erin, obviously that was a reenactment we did, but that was a huge assertion from the prosecution, a big moment. What was that moment like in the courtroom?
Yeah, that's right. Nanette Rogers, the Crown prosecutor, was raring to go today. She seemed to not be able to get to her feet quick enough to start asking questions after the accused's defence barrister has taken her through questioning for the last couple of days. And the cancer diagnosis or lack of was a really big part of Nanette Rogers' questions today. And right towards the end of the day, that focused on how and why you were coming up with this so-called cancer con was the way that it was described. And after denying that she said to her lunch guests that she had cancer, she was asked that question.
I don't know why they're focusing so well, I do know why they're focusing so much on the cancer thing, because it's kind of the biggest thing they've got.
Yeah.
Don't you think? Like
they don't have any evidence, so they're just going to show, or the evidence isn't very solid, so they're just going to show that she's a lying liar who lies.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Because people hate a cancer scammer. Like, people really, really, really hate cancer scammers.
With good
right?
reason.
Yeah. So if you can prove she's a cancer scammer, then she's capable of anything. Yeah. So if she's like a fairly likable but a bit kooky but pretty normal 50-year-old woman who has like body issues and gets onto a Facebook group and bitches about her ex-husband, then people can relate to her, right? But if she lies to people that she's got cancer, suddenly people can't relate to her. Yeah.
Yeah, makes her makes her less sympathetic.
Way less sympathetic. Yeah. So let's go and talk about that at length and get the jury to hate her guts. Right? Fucking prosecutors.
Question. Did you lie? And did you think that lie would ever come out? And she said she didn't, maintains that she didn't lie deliberately, but she did lie in order to garnish some love and support from her family.
Garnish, get
Erin
it?
Patterson also refuted some of the evidence from sole survivor Ian Wilkinson. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so a lot of the propositions that came out during his evidence was put to the witness today. And Ian Wilkinson had explained to the jury that his recollection of conversations at the lunch table on that fateful day was about the fact that he believed Erin Patterson had told the lunch guests she had cancer and that she needed some help and support in figuring out how to break the news to the children and whether or not she should break the news to the children at all. Other evidence was also put to her from Simon Patterson, her estranged husband. Now, the jury were told that the day after the lunch, his father, who died after the lunch, had said to him similar things, that his recollection was that Erin Patterson had shared that she had cancer and was concerned about how she was going to break the news to the children. When this was put to Erin Patterson, she said she didn't really have a recollection of that. She didn't believe that she told the lunch guests that day that she definitely had cancer or that there was any plans for treatment.
The court heard that Erin Patterson hid mushrooms in food she fed to her children. What can you tell us there?
That line of questioning from the prosecution was largely around whether or not in the lead up to the lunch, in the months before the lunch, Erin Patterson had been hiding ground up, dehydrated, dried mushrooms in her children's food. Now, she agreed. She said, yes, she had been doing this, and her intention was to use mushrooms and to hide them in food. And that was the activities that she'd been doing. But she denied that she did this as any form of practice for anything. And she said the reason that she did that was because she wanted to get more vegetables into her children's food.
Erin Pearson, thanks so much again for joining us.
I love that she's called Erin Pearson. This chick. Oh, sorry, Erin Pearson.
No relation.
No relation, yeah. Excel spreadsheet. The 10 male, 5 female split might slightly reduce emotional sympathy or limit maternal leniency, especially in a case involving cooking, deception, and death. General advice only. Oh, look. I have very little faith in the jury system, but who knows? Who knows? I've been watching too many US cases for too long. I've seen too many juries convict based on the civil standard, I suppose, the balance of probabilities, or just on their own biases. And I can see, just like I was saying a minute ago, just what the prosecution is doing is they're just trying to make the jury hate her.
Yeah.
Right. So this whole thing with the cancer lie, like really, really pushing hard on that when it's actually irrelevant. Right? Like it's actually got nothing to do with her planning the murder of 4 people. Right? 0.
Yeah.
Really? Doesn't it? Isn't it irrelevant?
I don't see any benefit to going into that.
It's directly irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's a side note, right? Like it's just to show bad character. It's all it is. And the only reason I suppose that they're allowed to bring it in is because it happened at the lunch. Yeah, if it didn't happen at the lunch, I don't think that they could bring that in, right? But it looks really, really bad, and it's fantastic for the prosecution, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't say anything about whether she planned to murder those people. And Chinny brings up a really good point earlier, that was it
at the bottom?
Chinny? No, earlier on. Chinny.
No, right now.
Oh, the fact that she lied about it gives me pause, because why lie to them if they were going to die? Why lie to them and kill them? Like, you wanted them to help you when you were going to hospital, right? You were enjoying the care that they were giving to you, right? Like, the lie makes no sense. So let's just put this in perspective, right? So you're sitting around for months earlier planning out these lethal doses so that you can kill these people, right? And you're putting it in their food, and you're like, it's very intentional, right? And then you sit them down and tell them that you've got cancer so that you can get their sympathy.
Yeah.
What?
And if she's a bit of a hypochondriac.
Well, I fully believe that she she thought that there was some risk for her that she had ovarian cancer or something like that because of the whole Google thing, the whole Google doctor thing. I think that the defense needs to bring in evidence that she had gastric bypass surgery planned, but that's not a lie, right? So, if she really
Maybe
had that
dental
planned, then
records
it would
to
be
show she was bulimic, or reports
maybe
from a therapist. I mean, if they can show she actually was,
that's possible. Like possibly, yeah, dental records. Yep. Yeah, she's a shit liar.
oh yeah.
No,
I mean, they're
no.
going to have to find some way to corroborate her story here.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so they're going to need an eating disorder specialist to not just corroborate that she is bulimic, but also there'll be people who will be like, "Oh, she's too fat for that," like we had last time, right? A couple people in chat were like, "Oh, no," because she doesn't present.
Yeah.
Way. So people have their own ideas about what an eating disorder patient looks like, and they present in all sorts of ways. So they'll definitely need a specialist to back that up. But secondly, yeah, if she did have this gastric bypass surgery planned, then having the doctor's records, hospital records to prove that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
She's not lying about that. It'd be bad if she's lying about that. But yeah, if she had a hospital date set up, ready to go. Okay, so she was embarrassed about it.
Yeah.
Tell the truth. Okay, maybe. And she needed someone to help her. Okay, well, it's still not good that she led them to believe that she had cancer, but at least like the rest of her story checks out. And if she did need help, why the fuck would she kill them? Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Nothing she says can be taken at face value. Not sure about the compulsive thing, but yeah, she's a liar. They will need corroborating evidence for any claim. Yeah. As much as they can bring in to corroborate what she said, will definitely help. Yeah. In Australian criminal law and most common law systems, the victim is elderly, disabled, or otherwise vulnerable. It is considered an aggravating factor. Yeah, that's true. I have to go with not guilty for straight murder. What's she charged? This is interesting, actually, Chinny. I'm glad you brought this up. So, yeah, she's charged with murder, like premeditated murder, right, and attempted murder for Ian Wilkinson, who survived. However, in Australia, or in this case especially, I'm not sure if it's always, but they can go with a lesser charge. Right. They can. Yep. So they can decide that she is only guilty of manslaughter. I'm not sure what the other charges are that they could go with, but I was reading this on the law forums the other day that because someone asked the same question. No, the jury can go down the scale of charges. So, yeah, it's possible that she could be found guilty of a lesser charge without like a change of jury instructions or anything like that. So
really interesting.
Yeah. Assuming that the lawyers on there who were answering the questions are correct. Expect they are. Are doctors allowed to give bypass surgeries to patients presenting with bulimia? I think she is saying too much. I don't know. No. And thank you for the $5.
Thank you.
I thought we had 3 of 5, not 2 of 5. Never mind. Erin doesn't go down the scale. Stop it. But yeah, I can see how she might not be found guilty of intentional murder, but I don't see how she would avoid Oh no, I think it is manslaughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. She's responsible for their deaths. Don't think I'm like singing that she's completely innocent of anything at all, no wrongdoing. I don't think that's the case at all. I think she's very reckless, and yeah, she should have been a lot more careful. And yeah, she's responsible for their deaths, but I don't think it's intentional homicide at all.
Mm-mm.
No, absolutely not. No, she did not. She was not required to testify at all. It was a shock that she got up and testified. So it's basically exactly the same. So she has the right to remain silent. So she does not have to testify whatsoever. My mother was an OR nurse in a hospital specializing in gastric surgery. She's not even close to the category of people that a doctor would recommend for gastric bypass surgery. Yeah, I didn't think so. That's gonna look bad.
Yeah, unless they didn't know she was bulimic.
Well, there's that, but mate, she also might not be big enough.
Oh.
So you got to be like
Yeah.
morbidly obese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't just, yeah.
I don't know how it is in Oz, but in US, you have to lie to your doctor to get the right treatment.
That's
to get lorazepam.
fair.
As a proud Chinese person, I just want to say the only thing deadly in an Asian grocer is the chili oil, not the fungi oil. Depends how well you can handle your spice. I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good. Money fixes most medical problems. Well, we have a pretty good public healthcare system here. I would like to say that there's at least that. There's at least that. All right, that's enough, guys. Thank you. She's still on cross today. Apparently, this is from one of the reporters. It may have come from a prosecution source that she's going to be on the stand for, what's today? Today's Friday. Oh, yeah. So she'll be on the stand at least till Monday. Yeah. And don't know when closing arguments are going to be.
Or if she's the last witness.
Doubt it.
Yeah. Doubt
it. I think Mandy's going to bring in some witnesses of his own. Maybe you all should know better over there. I guess they do say Australia try to kill people alive. No, it's our insects that do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the spiders are here to save us. Are there going to be transcripts released? You're Australian, aren't you, Mark? Are you kidding me? Did you just arrive here?
Apparently they're not
Have
very
you been living under a mushroom, dude? Transcripts? What? It's a thigh slapper. I haven't seen a transcript ever. Transcript. Yeah, right. Yeah, nah. Oh, I got the right person, Mark. You are Australian, aren't you?
I think so.
We don't get transcripts here. Thank you, guys. Yeah, no, I've known a few lawyers, like criminal lawyers and stuff, and I've been like, oh, can I get documents? Can I get transcripts? Are you fucking kidding me? What? Why do you want them? How you want me to just give you? No. Isn't it a public document? It's a court document. Why would you get it? Sorry for asking. Jesus Christ.
Well, maybe Jody will get it to us, and
Yeah, maybe.
3 to 6 years.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for hanging out. Maybe things will change one day. Not. Let's go with the song.
Her name was Ella. She was an Aussie. She was a fake lawyer from the future. She got on YouTube and made some live streams. Her co-host is Dolly and she dances sometimes. The words are always so loud and because she's an 8 or 3. To the attention, excited utterance. Her cat is staring for me.